Succession is maybe the most perfect show on television. It is gut wrenching, it's hilarious, it's embarrassing, it's nerve wrenching. It is what I imagine the darkness of the world actually looks like, but it is just it's fucking so just like uh consuming it sucks you in like a black hole where you're so interested in this life because it's so far-fetched and it's so out of reach, but it is also something that you want to stay as far away from as possible. It's part of the perfect things about it is that you are just a fly on the wall. We're in the memorial section, I know, but what we will talk about in the newcomer section, Euphoria, is similar in that sense, where you you're jumping from scene to scene, and you are so engrossed into the actions, into the characters, but you don't want to be anywhere near this actual scene in real life because you don't want to have to talk to these people. You don't want to have to deal with these people in these situations that they are putting themselves into. And Succession is so quirky, it's so witty that as a fan, right, as just a person watching, you can enjoy it. But to think that these conversations and that people like this are really existing in the real world is so sad. Another thing that was really sad, but also really joyous, especially from the way that I was able to experience, the way that I was able to enjoy it, was the end of Insecure. 5 seasons. So for me, Insecure ended a few days before. Oh, was it the day after Christmas? Something along those lines. So I'm already in Mexico. With my great friend, the co-host of Saturday Morning Synopsis, Nia Fields, and we knew it was going to be an event. We were saying goodbye to a show that we had both been into from the day it started. Nia has even been into it longer than me because she had a relationship with the YouTube show Awkward Black Girl. So we knew it was gonna be a moment, so we made sure we got all of our things together. Bought a bottle of wine. I think we might have done some edibles, and we enjoyed Insecure. And we didn't know. Oh, and right before we put on the previous week's episode, so we really dived ourselves into it, and we had conversations the days leading up to it, thinking about or asking each other, where do we think the show is going to go, and where do we think it's going to end up? And part of the interesting thing about that is that I think not only she and I, but so many Insecure fans had different ideas of what the show is. I think it was not only from the final episode, but leading up to the final episode in the last 1, 2, 3 seasons, it was clear that they were showing that it was a love show, and the love story was between Molly and between Issa more than anybody else. I think more than their counterparts, more than their significant others. Also, there was the love story that was going on between all of the girls. That group of friends that really became the highlight of Issa's community. But for me, one of the most interesting things about the show was that part of me just wanted the show to end in the most insecure, awkward moment, because that is what Insecure was all about. It's all about Issa talking to the mirror, having moments, and I think they were able to really sprinkle those moments throughout the final season, where no matter what Issa was going through, she still had an awkward interaction. She still had an awkward engagement. So part of me just wanted the show to end in a moment of insecurity, in a moment of awkwardness. But what the show actually did was do the opposite. It took us into a place and it left us forward into a place where their insecurity and their awkwardness were no longer the stars of the show because they were strong individuals who survived and sustained and were able to build something despite all of their insecurity, despite all of their awkwardness. And I think that's a beautiful story to tell. Whether it's what I would do or not, I think it's irrelevant or it doesn't matter because I think they set out to tell us something and they set out to do something and they accomplished it. And I give them applause for it. What I was not able to do, as you've heard in the opening monologue, was that I did not watch the Insecure The End special. I think so Insecure might have been the day or two before I actually realized I had COVID. So I'm probably wearing a hoodie, chilling on the couch, laid back, going, yeah, of course my body is relaxed because I just had an edible. I'm not thinking that I got COVID that's putting me down. So we said we were going to watch the Insecure, the End special, and we did not get there. But maybe I'll get there. I don't know. It's at this place where the show's been over for 2 months. I don't know. Next time I see you, Nia, we'll watch the Insecure, the End special together. Also, I think that same night, maybe Nia went to bed and I stayed up and I finished Curb Your Enthusiasm, which kind of just ended as a dud. Now, Curb Your Enthusiasm is not the show that needs to be a big cliffhanger ending, but I think one thing that they did extremely well this season was they gave us kind of, I mean, they always do this, but I feel like they even went harder with it, where they gave us one interlying or one intermingling thing that connects the whole story to everything. And so it's almost as if that's the underlying joke, and every day you're waiting, it's building, and you're waiting for the last episode to hit you with a punchline. I feel like instead of giving us a punchline, they gave us a swerve, they gave us a divergent, and that was cool. But the season served its purpose, so I'm not mad at it. I'm not expecting more of it. But, Curb Your Enthusiasm. See you when you come back around. And I'm always surprised when you do come back around, so that's exciting. Staying on to HBO, because literally Succession, Insecure, Curb Your Enthusiasm, this has all been an HBO hour. We got one that's not on Insecure that we'll get to. Genlock, the anime starring Michael B. Jordan and what's her name from Game of Thrones, Arya Stark, and a lot of people. Genlock. So this episode, I guess we're gonna get into more anime than we normally do because I'm also gonna talk about a movie called Belle later on. I say a movie called Belle as if it wasn't one of the biggest movies of Sundance this year, but as somebody who doesn't divulge into anime, who the deepest I really get into is like some Cowboy Bebop and my Digimon tattoos. It's new to me, but Genlock, the way that this show is opening and turning more into family and turning more into a psychological show about what it means to be alive and what religion means and what it means to be conquered and what it means to be connected and what it means to be open, what it means to be vulnerable. It's just dive deeper and deeper into that with each episode, with each season, and I'm constantly surprised by it and I'm constantly impressed by it. And it was really one of the highlights of my last year watching Genlock, watching these characters fall in love with each other and have to cut themselves open to gather strength from each other, with each other. It's, in a way, I guess, why my while the childing of me I don't know how to describe what I'm saying. Why me as a child enjoyed Power Rangers and enjoyed Digimon. It was able to do that on such an adult level. And the last series that we are going to talk about in the memorial section is something that I did not even realize was coming back so quickly. But the moment I found out it was, I canceled all of my plans. I turned everything else off. It was a studio session and this for the weekend. And before I even reveal what this show is, which you should probably know because it just happened and there's really just one show that I can say does this. Woo! She's from New York. Alright. I just had to look up who the actress was before I talked about the show because I needed to speak about the actress's name specifically. Julia Garner in Ozark deserves it all. Deserves everything. Ruth, you are it. You are it all. You are everything. You think Jason Bateman is a smart ass, is a hilarious ass actor? Julia Garner, who I just found out was born in 1994 and was born in New York City. I'm not going to read her whole Wikipedia right now to find out if she was actually raised in New York City, but girl, woo, you deserve it all. Everything. My kidney. The way Ozark ended. Ozark's one of those shows that I cannot just watch one episode. The moment it's over, I need to know what's going to happen next. I'm so invested into these characters. I'm so invested into their moods. It's so much like Breaking Bad, where anything that can happen, it leads you down a road where anything is possible. But in Breaking Bad, because it was on AMC, there was only a certain level that they were going to go to. Everybody loved Bryan Cranston. Everybody loved Walter White. Everybody loved Heisenberg. But in the Ozarks, I really believe that this shit can hit the fan. Everybody can fucking get it. Nobody is safe. And I feel like you really suffer from your actions. And some of these characters are pieces of shit, or they're not pieces of shit. They're actually very lovely people, but they have done some piece of shit things out of greed, out of lack of accountability, and it's going to fucking come and get you, Bird family. And I almost don't feel bad for you, but it's expected on a whole nother level. Shit. And I think one day we're going to be saying rest in peace. It's the perfect way to end this memorial section.